Hi guys, thanks for watching. I just love the sound of a radial engine in the morning, don't you? Here we are flying at about 8,500 feet to get over the mountains on the way to the New Mexico Pilots Association Backcountry Work Weekend. The group performs maintenance on the backcountry airstrips each year, and this was the weekend to do that work. I made my way from home base to the Negrito Airstrip, which would be our base for the weekend. The sights over New Mexico this time of year are spectacular due to the rainy season. A good bit of rain has fallen recently and the area is very green. That is a special treat here in the high desert where browns and earth tones are typical. I was thoroughly enjoying this new look. This stretch of land is at about 7,500 feet MSL, and I spotted several herds of elk on the trip. One that was quite large must have been at least 50 head. As you can see, this is a very early morning trip with the light of the sun just beginning to peek over the mountains. Here I am arriving at the Negrito Airstrip, where some of the work crew had already gathered. We camped here, but we're working on the nearby Rainy Mesa Airstrip, which is not yet operational. This airstrip is quite a comparison to Rainy Mesa, which you will see shortly. I frequently tell people that Negrito is an excellent airstrip to visit if you're just getting into backcountry flying. The runways are long and smooth, the trees are a long ways away, and it is quite high. In spite of that, it is very beautiful and peaceful. It sits at about 8,100 feet MSL. We were shuttled over to Rainy Mesa by truck, about a 30-minute drive. This video just doesn't capture the beauty of the area. The airstrip has been out of operation for a number of years, so it required a fair bit of work. But as you can see here, it is in just a picturesque setting. Some very large rocks were removed, as were many smaller ones. The crew worked hard and accomplished much. I think we were pretty well tuckered out and probably pretty sore for the next few days. This takeoff the next morning was from Negrito and about 9,000 feet density altitude with all of my camping gear. So it takes a little longer to get off the ground than normal. Doesn't happen too often, but I was lucky enough this time around to have someone on the ground videoing my departure. And also the departure of fellow pilot Dave and his Cessna 195, which you heard starting at the beginning of this video. And here we're approaching Rainy Mesa from the west and following Negrito Creek. Getting a little closer, you can see it there on the horizon. And here it is, Rainy Mesa. It will soon be open for operation, and that is a very exciting event. I made a number of passes to give those interested in the airstrip some perspective and a feel for the area. While it's a rather nice airstrip now, it certainly has its challenges. And isn't that just beautiful? my friend Mike recorded my takeoff from Rainy Mesa from the air. This is always very challenging to get just right, but this one turned out pretty good. And here are a few more passes up and down the airstrip for those that are interested in visiting. The airstrip is quite long, though it is near 7,500 feet MSL, so density altitude can be pretty high in the summertime. The surface is in good shape, especially for larger tires. There's some few bumps and some soft spots, but overall pretty good. For my smaller tires, I had to pick the smoothest section of the airstrip, which is near the middle, and the approaches to both ends of the runway are clear. As you can see, the most challenging aspect is staying on the center line to avoid the trees, which are pretty close. This is a view of Negrito Creek, which is just a short distance north of Rainy Mesa Airstrip. I think that would just be a spectacular hike and maybe even a little fishing. Thank you for watching, and a very big thank you to the New Mexico Pilots Association, the U.S. Forest Service, and all the volunteers that made the reopening of this airstrip a reality. Thank you, guys.